Hello, welcome to my vlogs where I try to make art for the week, whether it's comics, illustration, crochet, or learning a new hobby. If I get to them throughout the week is another story, however. Friday, April 10th. Since my little brother got his license, we've decided that he'd be the one that takes my stepbro to work now, so I got to sleep in a bit today and then I went to go babysit. When I got home, I decided to go for a walk since I've been wanting to go back to losing weight. I did my 10K and ate dinner. After drawing a panel or two for my Ethavic comic and trying to type up last week's vlog, I went to bed right after. I had originally wanted to stream, but after that walk, I got so exhausted that I just couldn't. I also couldn't finish up writing the script for the vlog. I knocked out around 9 p.m. Saturday, April 11th. I woke up rather early today, around 5 in the morning. I finally managed to script everything out and then record and edit my video. In between editing, I was playing Ragnarok online. After posting the video for Patreon and playing just a little bit more on Ragnarok, I took a nap around 1 p.m. I woke up around 3, close to 4 p.m. I ate dinner and then streamed for 3 hours. After I ended the stream, I doom scrolled for a few hours before sleeping for the night. Sunday, April 12th. Unfortunately, in terms of art, I barely did any. I did about 1 or 2 panels of the Ethavic comic while playing Ragnarok online most of the day. From Monday, April 13th to Thursday, April 16th, I did my usual and came home and mostly played Ragnarok online throughout the week. Unfortunately, from April 16th to the 26th, I will be needed for longer hours, from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. since my sister was working later those days, so I most likely will have a very short video for next week as well. So since I did nothing but play video games during my time off, I wanted to chat about the artist that inspired my own art. If anything, to extend the length of this video, since seeing a 1 to 2 minute vlog is a sad sight to see, and honestly, I'd say something is better than nothing. Thinking off the top of my head, the artists Rei Izumi, Yun Koga, Hitoshi Ichimura, and Kazunori Ito were my main inspirations. While I have had other artists appear from time to time that have inspired me, these 4 are what inspired my main art today. In case you didn't know, Rei Izumi and Kazunori Ito drew for the Dot Hack series. Rei Izumi drew for Dot Hack Legend of the Twilight, and I believe Kazunori Ito was the one who drew for the Black Rose novels, Dot Hack Another Birth. If I'm incorrect, however, please let me know since I no longer have the novels. I've been googling online like crazy to see who drew the illustrations in the Black Rose novels, but the cover only says the illustrations are by CyberConnect 2, which I assume to be a group. However, I do remember there was a particular artist name attached at the end of each novel, and I would assume it's Kazunori Ito, but if I'm wrong, feel free to let me know in the comments. I loved the Dot Hex series when I was a kid. Rei Izumi was my first inspiration, though I'll admit I definitely noticed some anatomy issues when I was younger, such as 2 left hands and the like. Rei Izumi also drew Hibiki's Magic, in which that comic was my biggest inspiration in terms of making comics. Hibiki's Magic was also written by Jun Maeda, writer of Clannad and Angel Beats. It was the writing of Hibiki's Magic that made me fall in love with comics, and while I did return to reading Hibiki's Magic a year or 2 ago, I remembered why I loved it, even if it no longer was to my tastes. I remember feeling so moved and so touched by useless girl learning magic, but being miserable at it. However, her own magic was the way she brought people together. The real magic was the friends we made along the way kind of deal. But back to the artists that inspire me, Rei Izumi drew Dot Hack Legend of the Twilight, while I believe Kazunori Ito drew for Dot Hack Another Birth. Kazunori Ito's art was beautiful. The anatomy, the expressions. I believe I got most of my facial expressiveness from their art, as most of their work were waist and bust shot illustrations in this novel. Yun Koga made Loveless. While I never actually finished that series, I remember really loving the art that I made copycat rip-offs of Loveless. To this day though, I still don't know all the rules to those word battles. I remember asking myself, what if I just said yo mama pussy stink, and then the opponent gets crazy damage? I haven't bothered to really go out and reread the series though, as the story itself never left much of an impact other than the art. While I get that Loveless didn't age well, I genuinely loved how they colored their work. I also think their anatomy is peak even to this day. And where do I even begin with Hitoshi Ichimura? Hitoshi Ichimura drew the manga for Tales of Symphonia, but if you were into Kingdom Hearts back then, you probably know their art from a few particular yaoi doujins. If you know, you know. Hitoshi Ichimura can just make the characters look so distinct. Their expressions, their anatomy, the coloring, everything. Just everything about Hitoshi Ichimura's art is peak. And while I don't really draw much inspiration from their art today, I genuinely cannot forget that I spent months trying to study their style when I was much younger. But I won't lie, looking back at their work makes me want to color like them, as I'm still trying to figure out my own coloring style. I'm unsure where to go from there, but I absolutely adore their art. While I am nowhere near the level of their art, I can somewhat see my art being an amalgamation of all of their styles. These are the artists that inspired me to keep drawing. What about you? Feel free to tell me in the comments if you're still here. I'd love to hear all about the artists that inspired you. Well, now that the video is lengthened a bit, thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. I know the upcoming week won't have much art in it, but I hope when this crazy schedule is over, I can go back to creating what I love. Have a great day or night wherever you are. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!